the whole theme of this entire album, right, is like anthems are back. Mm-hmm. Anthems are back, and I'm dropping every version of the anthem that I feel is necessary. Okay.
Good afternoon, beautiful people. This is another episode of Album Mode. We review a new album every single week. We look at the lyrics, the production, the overall aesthetic of the album, and how that album fits into the context of that artist's career. My name is Adriel Smiley, a.k.a. AdrielSmiley.com, a.k.a. Adriel Smiley Official, a.k.a. The Godfather. And we are here with His Royal Highness, King Grant.
Welcome back, people. We're back. This time, it's with Lil Uzi Vert and the Pink Tape. Okay, something that I have personally been waiting for multiple years. And it has finally arrived. Lil Uzi and the American flag. They're back in our life.
You know, we said it on, I think we had a couple episodes ago, that Lil Uzi Vert gives Republican vibes.
I don't know if I said that, you said that, but there is more of that, actually. There's
definitely a few Republican bars here. I want to take it back a little bit because this is our first Lil Uzi review, if I believe.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah, we missed Eternal Take. This is our first Lil Uzi review. Now, I think it's very interesting that they're calling this the Pink Tape because someone else on the project, Nikki kind of has, I don't know if she owns the color pink, but she has the masters.
Yeah.
If Pink was a group, she owns their masters for sure. Now, the hype coming up to this project was big. I think that's a good place to start because we've been talking about this album, I think, behind the scenes a little bit, wondering if they were actually going to drop. Now, this marks the first album in 3 years for Lil Uzi, just 1 week after National Pink Day.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about that diamond they had in their head. $24 million pink diamond. A lot of people are bringing the pink back to that pink diamond.
Yeah.
I think that kind of is almost like the powers are in that pink diamond if you think about it. That's where their energy comes from. And then last but not least, DJ Drama, who also from Philly, part of basically bringing Lil Uzi into our lives. I don't know the situation now in terms of if he's still signed to them or if they're still signed to them.
Yeah.
But part of bringing Uzi into our lives, Drama said there were 680 songs that were contenders.
I believe that.
For making this album.
For everybody currently listening, there is 26 songs. Well, 3 of them are bonus tracks, but they're on the album. So 26 songs, an hour and 27 minutes. Help.
This is one of those pods that will not be longer than the album.
Yeah. Help. The project, the Pink Print the Pink Prince. Yeah, I already made the mistake. I already made the mistake. And that's why if I was Nicki Minaj, I'd actually be pretty pissed off that he's taking the Pink Tape because I was like, what about my album?
That's what I thought Nicki's album would be called.
Yeah.
Honestly, but.
So the Pink Tape has been hyped, I would say, ever since I Wanna Rock, just Wanna Rock. It's been hyped. I feel like it's just been bubbling. The hype for it is like everybody's just aware.
Yeah.
Which is where you want to be as an artist. You want everybody to know that your shit's coming out. Doesn't need to be explosive. Just Wanna Rock was a massive single. It dominated TikTok, which we've already agreed that TikTok is the music industry.
Yeah.
It's dominated TikTok. It felt like for months. Everybody doing the dance. Kai Cenat was doing the dance. Still. And the music video had him in it. He was in it.
Yeah.
Also doing the dance. So I think that Uzi is basically he's also just like immensely popular. Like immensely popular.
Oh, Uzi, yeah.
Uzi is just immensely popular. His visage is unique. He's got the spiked hair. They got the diamond in the forehead. There's a lot of things happening with Uzi. So the Pink Tape was basically just like a culmination of I think was like a huge amount of but it wasn't, I don't feel like you promoted a lot. I just felt like we were just very aware.
I think that's one of the things that makes Uzi so unique. Yeah. Uzi does come from that SoundCloud era. And when we get to production, there's a lot that I think of with Uzi from that era. I can't separate Uzi from that time. If you were outside in 2015, 2016 when Uzi was really running
Money
things,
Longer, P's and Q's.
You know what it
now
was.
Now I do what I want.
Exactly. So if you were outside during that time, you know what it was like when Uzi songs would play. But the one thing I do want to mention, because we, of course, did not review this project. I think that was an obvious no for us. If we were even doing the pod then, but Pluto and Baby Pluto.
Yeah.
With him and Future.
We did review it.
Them and Future. We did Baby Pluto?
Yeah, we did review it. And it was not very good. We talked about Future. I remember it.
Oh, wow. So
we
now,
talked about Future.
Let me find this.
Like 70% of the time, because we're like,
Future was, that does sound familiar.
We're
my
Future
goodness.
is so good. Uzi kind of sucks on this. Future is saving it.
What rating did we give it? The project?
We both gave it 5s, I believe.
Yep, that's correct. Wow. I totally forgot that we did that. But that is the last project from Uzi. And so leading up until this, I think Uzi is at the level, you talked about how big they are as an artist. The hype will always be there.
Yeah.
I think that is clear with this project, that they're an artist where the hype is almost irregardless of what the actual music sounds like. And, that can be a good thing and a bad thing. But this project made it very clear to me. I Want to Rock, you mentioned the single leading us into this project. How did that kind of affect what you were expecting from Lil Uzi? I
thought when it came out that it was just like a Lucy. Because Lil Uzi Vert actually does that.
Yes.
Like Futsal Shuffle, tons of songs.
I forgot about that.
See what I'm saying? Like they just have just singles that are just out and that's it. Like a Lucy, that's it. So I originally thought, it's just a Lucy that just got hot. Because remember, Poland came out around the same time.
Yep.
So I just thought, okay, it's just like it's a Lucy time right now for a bunch of people.
Poland, you mean Yachty's Poland?
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Everyone's putting Lucy's out. Yeah, I remember you said that.
People are just throwing out Lucy's. So I'm like, okay, cool. I feel like every hip hop artist has that at some point. Even Drake, remember like Draft Day or like Right Hand, right? Stuff like that. So I just thought it was a Lucy. And then I'm like, okay, it has a music video. And then I was like, oh, this is like actually a really huge song. Okay, I guess then people are talking about, the pink tape. I'm like, there's an album coming out. So that was what it was like for me. I wonder what it was like for you.
I was kind of hoping that the album wasn't full of Just Wanna Rocks. That was my biggest
You were worried about that? You didn't like that? I love that song.
No, that song is good, but we know Uzi loves their long albums.
Yeah.
Something that's just so important to them.
What's up with that? Let's talk about that. Why? This is the second album in a row, technically, that second solo album in a row.
Yes.
That it's over 20 songs. Right? Eternal Take was, if you want to be technical about it, was actually 2 albums.
Yeah, Eternal Take was like 50 songs.
Yeah. They said that it was actually Love vs. the World 2 or something like that. It was actually the second half. But this is the second project in a row that we're talking about 20 plus songs. What's going on here? Why do you think Uzi of all people are doing that?
This is kind of what Uzi's always done, if we're being honest. If you think about the Pluto and Baby Pluto project, that was, I think, 24 songs.
Yeah.
24 songs. Love is Rage 2 is 16 songs, which by now standards is like kind of tame. But in 2017, that was still, a bit much. It's like his shortest project, which is a project we were kind of raving about, which brought him in. Uzi versus the World, which was 9 songs. But that is, basically a whole different artist at this point. And they're way, way, way past that. In terms of thinking of the production, you mentioned how much songs there are. That really gives me SoundCloud vibes. That's such a SoundCloud thing to do. And on this project, I was really wondering, what about Uzi do I like personally? What are my favorite Uzi songs? What are the Uzi songs I want to hear? Because I think Uzi does this a lot in this project where some of the songs are hip hop production. Similar to stuff they've always done. Very, very in that pocket. Then there's a production on this side that is, I would say, kind of new for them, but rock. And, we've had our gripes with rock and rap over the past 2 decades or so, but I don't think anyone saw rock and rap coming together like this. So I think that's my production takeaway to start with from here, because that's really what it is. It's like they have this whole, Lil Uzi side where
Yep.
they're sticking to what they do,
Yep.
and then they have the rock side.
Yeah.
What stand out to you from this project?
I think I do. You know what's interesting? I do think that Uzi and like Playboi Carti and like that like group of artists, they like rock music a lot.
Oh, Trippie Redd.
Yeah, Trippie Redd.
yeah.
Those dudes, they love rock music, and it actually influences a lot of their stuff. I think Uzi's the first one to like, I'm going to make rock songs.
Yeah, he's diving in.
Yeah,
He's
like
diving
I'm
in.
going to make rock songs. I think maybe Trippie Redd has done a couple of them.
Yeah, Trippie Redd has done that as well.
Right. So that was really interesting to me just because I think that Uzi's music is so anthemic, so big, that making it a rock song actually changes the scope. Like they're massive hip hop songs.
Yes.
Right. But hip hop songs usually aren't anthemic, right? They're usually sly or cool or something like that. But Uzi is a person who makes anthemic music. But when you start making rock music, rock music there's literally a genre called arena rock.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That's when they're expanding the scope of their music, but only being a dilettante, right? Somebody that dabbles in it. So that I feel like there's a little bit of like a miscalculation in scale at that time. I think that that is the interesting part of I think that's the most interesting part.
But
But
don't think I don't know when a butt is
I
coming.
think it's the most interesting part. I think it's mostly missteps. How do you feel about, we're dancing around the topic, Chop Suey? The remix, the cover, the Uzification of Chop Suey, which is like what do you think? Tell me what you think. I want to hear what you think. It's called CS on the album.
Yes. I actually don't hate their cover of Chop Suey. I think that this is probably the best job they've done of actually blending rock with their sound. Because what I thought about on this project, and I really tried to reach out to all my friends, all my people who rock is their home. We talk about having a musical home.
Yeah.
People who I know who rock is their home, I reached out to them and I said, listen to this Chop Suey cover. Tell me what you think. And I think you mentioned it before in the production. I think their issue with this project is that if you're a hip hop fan who likes rock, maybe this will appeal to you.
Yes.
But I think if you are an actual rock and roll fan who likes hip hop, or a rock fan who likes hip hop, this might not be your speed.
Yeah.
And I think that is where they're missing the boat here, because, and I think that maybe it's because we are those people who actually listen to rock outside of hip hop, that we'll be able to identify this is not what it's supposed to be. This is a misstep here. So I think that there may be people who they don't even notice. I think it's cool. But I do think they did a great job with the CS, because there's enough different about it that they didn't attempt what System did. Right. I think there was especially that chorus where it gets screamy. Like Uzi has an attempt at that. Yeah. But if that was what they tried to make the majority of the song, it wasn't gonna go down. And so I think Uzi did a good job, at least on CS, of staying in their pocket. Right. Not on the rest of the album, there's not as much of that in terms of the rock songs. But on CS specifically, they stayed in their pocket. Yeah, I think that it's a decent. I would say it's a decent cover. It's nowhere near the original. No. There are some times where covers are better than the original. That's why I say that, though. Yeah. I don't think it's. I would say it's a couple of steps or a step below the original. I do think it was a decent attempt, though, because very few artists would even be able to get into this realm of any genre. I think that's a great point. The fact that they decided to even cover this, of any genre, a lot of people would say, I'm cool. Yeah, exactly. Cool. So I think that's commendable. Do I love it? Not so much. But one song that I do love. Okay, let's hear it. That is, I would say, out of the box for them is Nakamura. Right? Which I was, when I first heard it, I just thought, I'm like, this is genius. Epic. Right? It was epic, where it was like it's anthemic. I think the whole theme of this entire album, right, is like
Anthems are back.
Mm-hmm.
Anthems are back, and I'm dropping every version of the anthem that I feel is necessary. Okay, if I want to do a Nakamura where the electric guitars are doing the intro, and then it goes into that big like whoa, that part is sick. I love that. And I heard that, I'm like, damn, this is awesome, right? And I think that for the majority of the song, because of how aggressive and like fast paced it is, really like reinforces, like it almost feels like a soccer, like you're at a soccer game or like a basketball game, right? And Nakamura, this is a reference to I think it's Shinsuke Nakamura is a wrestler in WWE.
Oh wow!
Right, and this is their intro music, right? That's sampled for it, and I was like, oh,
that's pretty cool.
So now I can see where it's all coming together, right? But I think because of his anthemic, like his style of anthems, it just perfectly meshes together. So when it gets to the trap beat, in like a minute in, then it all sounds like it should be together. Versus he's trying to fit something in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm happy you mentioned Nakamura because that was the other song that I was gonna say as the job they did of mixing rock with rap that actually works.
Yeah, because
I think that Nakamura is a song that probably only Lil Uzi could really make.
Yes, yeah, for real though.
Like that is the one I think of like, because there's a few on here that are his sound. I would say production wise, but someone else could have made that song. You might have said they're imitating Lil Uzi, but someone could have made that song. Of all the
nobody can really make Nakamura.
All the episodes we've done, I don't see Miley Cyrus making Nakamura.
Here's something I'll point out. I like that we did Gunna 2 weeks ago because we get to see people in the same, because Uzi makes a version of trap music.
Yeah.
We're seeing multiple strains of trap music that exist.
I like strains,
right? Where you can be like, oh, this is the anthem version. Young Thug's is more of like a vocal inflection version. Uzi is definitely a vocalist in multiple ways. But you're seeing different versions of it in succession.
Yes.
So now when people are in the comments coming at me saying that I don't care about Gunna's music or I don't like it or I hate Gunna or some shit, if you just watch the successive episodes, you'll be able to see
the difference
between what makes good trap music and what makes unique trap music.
And we got Travis Scott coming up after this.
Travis, exactly. So you're going to be able to see what makes trap music unique in the genre versus what Gunna releases. Right? So I'm thinking, I think even in this, because here's something that's interesting about Uzi is that he's always going for some sort of vocal risk,
yes.
Even in Nakamura, that like, like that is something that, is anybody else doing that on their music? I don't think so.
No.
So even
not in this space.
Yeah. So to even go for something like that, I thought was, awesome. Right. So I think that, the rock production, that's what I'm saying. It's the most interesting part. We're spending the first 5 minutes talking about it because it is the most interesting part, I think.
I think a couple of things before we move out of production.
Yeah.
I do think the production is all over the place.
Really?
Like it goes in a bunch of different directions, and you can find the songs you like on this project, but there is no really flow or rhyme or reason on this project, which is, I think, maybe something that Lil Uzi is just known for at this point. Like, I don't remember them having a cohesive project that I can think of. So maybe that's just something that they do, but Amped is a song that I think will go up live. That's one song that I've been thinking a lot of how these songs will do live when Uzi performs them. And Amped is one of those that I think will just be an absolute movie. And I think here's the thing about Uzi, and they fit into that Playboi Carti group as well. Much more music than Playboi Carti, of course.
Obviously.
But they fit into that group, is that Uzi can continue to do shows whether or not they have an album out.
True.
Whether or not they have new music, there's still plenty of music to tour and do shows with. And so this is part of why I think they do give us these 45-song albums, it feels like, is because there's so much more new music to bring on tour. And I think Amped is one of those. I think the production in Amped, you mentioned that they have this anthemic quality about their music that is pretty rare. this is a song I noticed it a lot because they say I'm amped very, very much in this song. It's very repetitive. And he calls this person their older brother, Pluto.
Yeah.
Future is also very repetitive, but is anthemic in a whole different way.
Yeah.
And I think
trap bangers.
And I think that is part of the vocal inflection that they've kind of mastered at this point in Lil Uzi, is that they can turn a song like this into something that feels so much bigger, so much more grand, so much more full, with something that's very repetitive. When you see someone else something that's very repetitive and it falls a little flat.
Yeah, exactly.
So Amped is one for me that stood out in terms of actual production of the song, but just the way that they use their vocals.
Yeah, exactly. What I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite song? Before I talk more about the production, because I have a couple of things. Your favorite song? It's kind of hard to pick a favorite song, right? I think that...
Yeah, also, to the two that are my favorite now are Patience.
Okay.
I like Patience a lot. And Days Come and Go.
Okay.
But both of those don't feel like Uzi songs.
Yeah.
So it feels weird saying those are my favorites, but those are probably the two that I like the most.
Yeah, I like Patience too. But I love Don Toliver.
Yeah. I'm there for it.
But I think Don Toliver's music, I love people. Okay, I'm talking to you guys right now. If I say I love or hate an artist, I literally only care about the music. I'm only talking about their music. So when I say I love Don Toliver, I love Don Toliver's music.
Not what the last review said.
The last one was mediocre. But on a grand scale, I'm a fan of Don Toliver's music. And I think Patience is more of a Don Toliver song. Like he pulled
100%.
He pulled Uzi into the latest album where it's more R&B.
Yeah.
It's more mellow.
Yeah, Patience could have been on Lovesick for sure.
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%. I think that song is really good because it's like slowish R&B, still a little bit trappy, the drums, but it's more of an R&B vibe, much more like elongated vocals, all that type of stuff. I think that Flooded the Face, which is the song number 1.
That's what I have for lyrics, so this is perfect.
Yeah, Flooded the Face. If you go back literally to Uzi's first project, right? First project, song number 1, where it's called Safe House, right? Where Uzi is like kind of like doing like one of these. It's on the album cover. He's doing one of these, right? And it's basically Safe House, just like souped up. Whenever I listen to Flooded Out the Face, the like and then the background, right? Like those vocals.
Oh my god, I forgot about this song.
Yeah, Safe. That's what I'm saying at the beginning.
You're saying, I'm like, this sounds.
When I say beginning, I mean the beginning.
Oh my gosh.
Safe House and Flooded the Face are not exactly the same, but I'm like, Flooded the Face is just souped up Safe House, you know, like the vocals in the background, right? And then you got like when he is like, you know, Uzi's very much a braggart.
Yep.
Brags about. I mean, if there's something to be bragged about, I think Uzi has bragged about it.
For sure.
Whether or not it's bragging about being short, right? You know, I'm 5'3", selling my money on 6'6", right? Whether it's that, his watch, his car, and girl, whatever.
Uzi is not humble, I'd say that.
No. But I think that Flooded the Face, that echo, like that background vocal, it feels like he's like pulling you into the world, man. And I think that song is awesome. I think that Uzi, there are songs where Uzi is like, this is an Uzi song, like Died and Came Back.
Yeah.
Right? With the almost like Final Fantasy style production in the background, or Crush Them. Like there's a lot of them that are like Uzi 101, or not 101, but we're like what, 501 right now.
Yeah.
We're in like the master class of Uzi's totally understood to establish his sound. But I feel like there are true Uzi songs.
Yes.
True Uzi songs. I Wanna Rock is kind of, then there's the people that there's songs that it jumps off.
Yeah.
But the true ones exist. Mama, I'm Sorry.
Yeah, that's one of those.
You know, that's like kind of like a P's and Q's. So like I can see the remnants.
That's a good one.
I can see the remnants from the older projects.
Uzi is giving a lot of nods to those who've been a fan of their past music.
Yeah.
I think that's something that they do a good job of like
so many samples, bro.
There's
samples, covers,
and sampling themselves too.
Yeah.
Like you said, like sampling themselves. My last two notes for production is That Fire.
Yeah.
Really gives me SoundCloud vibes.
Yeah.
And I would say
so
that rap style is the one I associate with Uzi the most. Mm-hmm. I think when I think of the way that they rap, that song is the one where I'm like, okay, this is what I think of. I think of how they rap. And then the other one, X2.
Yep.
Oh,
×2 is crazy.
X2 ×2 might be one of my, that's probably one of my favorite songs because it just gives frantic. It just like, if there's a scene in a movie where someone is late for work and wearing the wrong clothes and, you know, this song is the perfect soundtrack for that. Yeah. And I think it giving frantic is just such a unique energy for a song to have before they even say anything. Yeah. It's just giving everything's a mess.
Yeah, I think that the production is, I'm going to say, well done. Mm-hmm. Right? A little bit scattered in some places, but overall, I think it's well done. I think that it's also like basically just the paint, like it's like the paint for Uzi's like vocal performance, I feel.
Yes.
I feel like he does so much over the top of the production that it just becomes, again, it's in a world, but like it's so lush, so colorful.
Yes.
When you think of like even a song like Rehab with like the ascending keys, and then, you know, you got him, you know, doing this like really rat-a-tat flow, right? And then it has like the electric guitar that goes underneath, and it's the piano again, and then I feel like he's allowing a lot of space for the production to breathe when it comes to like when he's singing, when he's rapping, all that type of stuff.
And very colorful. I like that you said that. That is really what it is. It's like this album is a lot of color.
Yeah.
A lot of color. I think production-wise, I like it, but I do think there is something missing in terms of it as a full project. It's hard to think of Uzi as an album artist now.
That's true.
Even though they have
he has great albums,
they have great successful projects. But you know, I that album quality isn't here for me. You mentioned the song earlier, "Flooded the Face."
Yeah.
This is my only lyrics.
Really?
And when I do think Uzi gets into some things on this project. There are some other songs where they talk about kind of what's been going on the past few years. So, you know, I do want to give them credit lyrically because this is not representation of what they are lyrically able to do and what they've done on this project. But this is the first lines of the whole album. Flooded the Face, they say, "First of all, I fuck 8 bitches a day. How could you ever say Lil Uzi gay? Fuck 4 of them raw, fuck 4 of them safe. Think I'm splitting the offer for you to debate? Don't want no pussy, want oral today. Pull out your tongue and just twirl it, baby. She lick on my backwood and pearl it, baby."
Wow.
Profound. But that is just who they are. I thought that was so interesting to start the project with, first of all, I fuck 8 bitches a day. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. I really know what's going on in front of the scenes. But I did not know there was some kind of, I didn't know people were accusing Lil Uzi of being gay. I didn't know that was happening. I also did not know that there was some kind of, what do you even call it? Like some kind of back and forth on how many bitches he fucks a day, or, you know, what's the thing there? How many bitches they fuck a day? So for them to start with, first of all, I fuck 8 bitches a day.
Yeah.
I want to know who that's for, because my algorithm does not include that. They're talking directly to somebody, and I want to know who those people are. Then the next line, how could you ever say Lil Uzi gay? I thought that was interesting because he's in a high-profile relationship with a woman. They're with the woman. And so I thought that was pretty interesting that you're in a high-profile relationship with a famous woman, and you start off your album saying, how could you ever say Lil Uzi gay?
Right. I think...
One more thing. One more thing, because they're not done. They're not done. The next line they say, fuck 4 of them raw, fuck 4 of them safe. That is absolute debauchery. Absolute debauchery. To say I'm only going to go halfway with the safety
is insanity. That's actually just totally ludicrous to me.
Those first 3 lines, I got to say, like, they started the album with a bang, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Literally.
why I highlighted that is because this album isn't all about shock value. They're not all over this project saying crazy things. Like, that's not what this album is.
Yeah.
But I thought it was clearly very intentional to start the project this way.
Right.
Because this is, again, people don't always listen to the full album. This is a song that basically everyone, you can almost guarantee, will listen to. Mm-hmm. So again, I'm not on the algorithm to see what they're saying about them, but
I can't wait. That is gonna be one of the TikToks. But I think you know what the thing is. I think because of Uzi's gender identity, mm-hmm. I think that especially being a black person, that can be easily conflated multiple different ways by people assuming certain things, not knowing specific things, right? Like they assume like if you're not a cis het person, mm-hmm. then you're like instantly gay. Like there's no in between. Like that's
they confuse gender with sexuality.
Exactly. That's legit. I think that's almost exactly what Uzi is speaking to in those bars. Mm-hmm. Because Uzi is also, I would say, a flamboyant person. Yeah. Very much cares about their fashion. 1,000%. Mm-hmm. Right? Not afraid to do specific things with their appearance. Got the diamond in the head. On the cover is spiked hair. Yeah. There's times where Uzi had their dreads shaved in different ways. Like
Uzi's had the perm a few times.
Yeah, remember Uzi had dreads and then they were gone. Right, and then there was super low, and now it's spiked. So there's a lot of like things happening with Uzi, and like I said, it's flamboyant, right? And I think that for some people, they're like, "Oh, he's on the down low," or like, "Is there something going on?" Like that. So I think that literally those three lines are just literally just a kick in the teeth, just like, bro, you need to relax, okay? First of all, I fuck 8 bitches a day, which is first of all ludicrous. Like, can you? I'm just thinking about the physical stamina. What it takes for one to do that.
I'm going to leave that one alone. I got some thoughts, but I'm going to leave that one alone.
Like, that's a lot, bro. Yeah, I think lyric-wise, I don't think Uzi is a lyrical artist. I think in some ways.
You don't know music. How could you say that? Lil Uzi's not lyrical.
Uzi is not super lyrical artist. I do think that there are like EXO Tour Life. That's definitely an emotional song, lyrical. The Weeknd's also in that music video, inexplicably. Anyways, inexplicably. We're gonna be talking about The Weeknd much later. Ooh. Yeah, I think that Lil Uzi Vert is not super lyrical in their music, but I think their vocal performance is what dominates a lot. You know, when you're thinking about Nakamura, which I mentioned earlier with like the oh, right? Then Mama I'm Sorry, like the sing-song hook. The Mama I'm Sorry, blah, you know, that sounds great too. I think that Fire that we mentioned too, yeah. Where the auto-tune, like the auto-tune kind of is like almost its own instrument throughout the entire song, while Uzi is also rapping over it. So there's a lot of cool vocal things that are happening, right? Where the lyrics don't matter. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. But it's not a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing that the lyrics don't matter. So I'm very impressed by the vocal performance. So that's what I have for lyrics. I have another thing for lyrics, but
yeah, I want to hear what you have for lyrics, but I want to mention this. I think what they do lyrically that we talked about in the Gunna album that he does not do, and does a little more now, but not really part of his artistry. Yeah, is Uzi's always talking about themselves. Yeah, like that is something that is very clear of just, I don't want to say oversharing, but just sharing, just sharing things about themselves. And that's always been part of Uzi's music. And so it may not be lyrical, but I think that's part of his appeal and why he's so popular is people feel like they know them. You know?
That's true.
So I want to, even though they're not lyrical, and we wouldn't put them with the Pusha T's and MF Dooms of the world.
We brought the wrong we definitely brought the wrong vinyl this week. We're like MF Doom and Pusha T.
I'm sure someone thinks that those two go together.
Maybe.
But I just want to give them credit for just always being open with their music and actually sharing things about their life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that Uzi is fun like that. It's always they have like the Kanye syndrome where it's each bar will just begin with I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, I did this, I bought this, I went here, I drove this. Mm-hmm. There's even a song where Uzi is just like, I'm the reason why everybody wears Goyard bags. I'm the reason I was wearing them. Then I got my girl one, and that's the whole reason. I'm just dripped out in Gore-Tex 24/7. Like
they have a case. Goyard bag was a huge song.
Right, so there's that. One other lyric I want to mention was Nicki Minaj, "Endless Fashion." Okay, we've been talking about out of pocket lyrics since inception of Album Mode, the podcast. But I would say that first of all, I don't know if it's fully out of pocket, but something I just never thought this would come out of an artist's mouth. Where it's like, I got a Republican doctor. Make my ass great again, MAGA. I never in a million years would I think any of that would be on a song. So I have to applaud Nicki Minaj. Okay.
We have to applaud?
I am applauding Nicki Minaj. I'm applauding Nicki Minaj because it was a hilarious line that I just never thought would ever exist.
I think it's also very interesting, and this speaks to both of their fan bases, but a lot of people would not want to make any jokes, any lyrics around that saying. And, to see that the response hasn't been complete outrage from the Barbs, or what do you call Lil Uzi fans? The Verticals?
The Verticals? Uzites?
The Barbs or the Verticals or the Uzites. I think that's very interesting, but this was a line too that I saw and I said,
wait, did you feel a type of way about that when she said?
I'm Canadian. I didn't feel any type of way, but I thought that was interesting because Nikki is of that age where people are sensitive to that kind of thing. So I thought that was interesting, but I'll say this, Nikki and Uzi have a good track record. We need more songs from them. I'll say that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, they do.
I do think that this has been the song that everyone's been talking about from this project, but this shows that their track record is even better. So yeah, I want to hear more from them. Yeah,
me too. I think that not very many collabs on this one. Travis Scott making an appearance in A. I think there's Bring Me the Horizon, Don Toliver. It's like 4. That's 4 tracks out of the 26.
20 million.
So it's mostly just Uzi. I don't really ever get tired of Uzi. There's a lot of different versions of Uzi. So, I think that that's also a strength. The features aren't taken away. Nicki Minaj, I feel like it added the MAGA line. It's I would say it's very edgelord.
Yes.
That's edgelord.
Yes.
But she didn't drop anything like crazy with it.
No, that was pretty tame.
Yeah, like there wasn't
the line itself was not egregious.
Yeah, I think the MAGA thing could ring alarm bells for some people.
Yeah,
but literally in that entire line is what explains it.
Well, we know Lil Uzi fans don't know how to read, so there's not gonna.
I don't know about that.
Joking.
But yeah, she says, "Make my ass great again." Well, it's like.
It's calm. It's some wordplay.
Yeah.
I don't have any beef with that line. Do you have anything else for lyrics, or do you already talk about his career or their career and what this means?
No, I think that's it. I just want to stress again, vocal performance, phenomenal. That's my lyric thing.
Yeah.
Right. Really, it's like the vocal performance
and make my ass great again.
Yeah.
Look at the lyrics that were highlighted.
Yeah, because you know what, Uzi, if you just read the lyrics, you've read them before.
Yeah.
Right? You've read whatever they've said before, whether I'll just go to Rehab. I'm live reading Rehab to you guys right now. I was in intake, couldn't have no diamonds. But you still told me that I was shining. I was under your spell from the kindness. You asked me every day, why you crying? Couldn't tell the truth, so I started lying. I mean, sure. I mean, the song's a little bit about Uzi, like I feel like breaking down, but he never is going deep.
No.
Never going deep. And even if something is like, talking about crying or being depressed or something like that, literally, I start line, told you about all the things I could buy. You said, take your time, saw watching time, going through withdrawals, you saw the signs. So with the withdrawals, a little double entendre there. All the things I can buy, feeling withdrawals, rehab. It's a little wordplay. I literally live read that. I did not even prepare that.
Some bars.
So there's a little bit of action, but it's not super significant.
Before we go on, who do you think raps better, Lil Uzi or Gunna?
I would say Uzi. Uzi raps better. Because Uzi just has a lot more flows, and I can rely on Uzi to have, multiple different. Like they say the same stuff. They say pretty much the same shit in their music. But whose music do you really want to turn to? You're probably gonna turn to Uzi's. Right?
Turn to.
Yeah.
I would say if you're turning to Gunna's music, you're
in a dark space, bro.
Your life's in a different place.
You're in a dark space.
I would agree with you. I would choose Uzi as well. I think in terms of their career, this project is a big deal, and we got to wait to see how much they're going to do in terms of sales. Because
there's still no hip hop number one. And
I do think, especially for someone like Uzi, sales is a big part of their appeal.
Yeah.
Eternal Take was huge. And so I think that it kind of remains to be seen on how this is going to affect their career, because if this doesn't sell as much as they expect or sells more than they expect, how will this affect him? Because what is Uzi if not this popular? They can still be popular, but if the sales don't reflect that, how will that, affect how people look at them? I do think, though, that having a song like I Just Want to Rock.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It kind of already validates everything.
It already helps. And I do think, is it Endless Vacation? What's the song with Nikki called?
Yeah, Endless Vacation.
Endless Fashion. Sorry.
Yeah, Endless Fashion. Sorry.
I think that will be one that actually makes it past this project. And we mentioned this talking about Harry Styles. Great comparison here, only an album mode, Harry Styles compared to Lil Uzi Vert. But an artist like Harry Styles, people know them for their singles.
Yep.
The album itself could be a good album, but everyone will be, that's the album that had Watermelon Sugar on it, or that's the album that had that on it. So Uzi is in that realm.
Yeah.
And I think that Wanna Rock is already on here, so that kind of saves them in a sense. But having other songs like Endless Fashion is another one where it's like, oh, because here's the thing with Uzi is almost as famous as they are popular, in a sense. And I think that there is a group like us who are listening to the project, listening to the whole thing, aware that it's coming out. And there's people who are hearing or seeing TikToks with Endless Fashion in it, or seeing the viral videos for Endless Fashion. And that's how they found out Uzi had a project.
Yeah.
And so Uzi being able to still kind of serve both bases, I think it's helpful for his career.
Yeah, I think that you're totally right. I think he is, Uzi is a singles artist most of the time.
Yeah.
And I think he already had the smash song come out of it.
Yeah.
Just Wanna Rock was just like, it was just everything for a while. And I think that overall is great for Uzi's career. Morgan Wallen's been number one for, I think, like 9 weeks.
Yeah, that's been a long time.
I want to say 9 weeks, but I'm not 1,000% sure on that. So eventually somebody must dethrone them, right? And it seems as though
eventually,
and it seems as though it's going to be Uzi. Uzi is sold in over 100K with Eternal Take. I think, they're just as popular, if not more popular, currently.
That's a lot to ask, but I get what you're trying to say. Uzi's very popular.
And yeah, I think that
over 200K.
Over 200K,
with
yeah.
Eternal Take, yeah.
So I think that Uzi now just, riding the wave. Like there's, the hit already came out. There's a lot of good songs, I would say, on this thing. I would say the collabs are pretty good. Like, is there anything slowing Uzi down? Not really. Like Uzi's kind of just Uziing.
Yeah, I think the only thing I'm waiting to see is what they do for their tour.
Yeah.
Kind of what there are.
Tour is going to be sick. Concert for this album is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I want to see what they do with that because they have a lot of options of who they can bring with them.
Yeah.
The direction they're headed in, it seems like it will probably be a band.
Yeah.
And will not be hip hop at all. So I'm excited to see that and kind of how that translates on stage. In terms of the album cover and if we're going to be getting the vinyl, I like this album cover a lot. I think this album cover, as much as I'm not a Republican myself, I like this album cover a lot.
It's pink. It's not even red.
We know what flag that is. we know what flag that is. But I like this album cover a lot. I think it's something that will be very easy to remember. And, just a little tidbit, they're wearing the flag as well. And so I think that will just be kind of the motif of this time with the color pink, with the flag. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, me too. I think the cover is one of few American flag covers. But those all happen to be really good. It's like the Outkast, what was it, Stankonia, I think?
Yeah.
Stankonia, then there's A$AP Rocky's
Long Live A$AP.
Long Live, Long Last.
One of them.
Has an American flag, and now it's this one. And I think Pink Tip is well suited to it. I like the color pink and then the black and white. It looks cool to me. Uzi's also on it, which is awesome. So I think that there's a lot of good things happen. Even though it's pink, white, and black, it kind of the vibrancy of it is it definitely reflects the album overall. Okay.
Are you gonna be getting the vinyl?
Are you gonna be getting the vinyl though? Is it nice enough to put up in your room? Is it nice enough to have it play on wax?
I like the cover, but I'm not gonna be getting the vinyl.
Oh wow.
Yeah. What about you?
I think this is borderline for me. It's borderline. I think borderline no. I think it's borderline no. But I do like this album. Now. The score. Wait, do you think it's a no skips?
No. not a no skips. Not no skips.
I don't think it's a no skips because the rock songs kind of fuck up the no skipness. Because to be honest with you, the rock songs could be better.
And it's too long.
Yeah. It's too long. It's hard to keep up with no skips for 26 songs.
Yeah.
Okay. The moment we've all been waiting for. The score, Adriel. What do you have for the score?
So for Lil Uzi Vert, Pink Tape, it's gonna be a 6.
Wow.
For me.
We were talking about it so glowingly for a 6.
I like this project a lot. There's not a lot that I don't like on this project, but I think as a complete album, it doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
It was way too long. There isn't really kind of a theme sonically with this project.
Okay.
And as well, I think what hurts this album score for me is that this is very much a bunch of singles.
Oh, you think so?
This is very much a bunch of singles to me. And there are a lot of singles on here that I like that will be making some of my playlists, but as a complete project, it's not up there for me. But I do think it is good, so it's going to be a 6 for me. What about you?
Okay, I think this is a 7.5.
Wow.
I think that it's really good in a lot of sense. Vocal performance, awesome. Features are good. I like the production most of the time. Most of the time, I like the production. I do agree with you that it does feel singly, but Uzi singles are always awesome. And it is definitely too fucking long. I don't know why. Like, there must be a reason for Uzi personally to have it this way. But artistically, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense to do a 20-something song album anymore. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense in like the ecosystem. If it's like even in the TikTok system, it doesn't make sense. Somebody's gonna listen to 20, 26 songs.
I was gonna say it makes sense for them. If they're a singles artist and people like some of the songs, like they'll
pick and choose, but they're gonna pick and choose regardless. Like I just feel as though
more to pick and choose from.
I guess so. I guess so. I like the samples. I like the interpolation. Like Mama, I'm Sorry, the I'm Blue sample that's a part of that is or interpolation, I think, is cool. The Nakamura sample is cool. And it also has the smash song. It's Just Wanna Rock. You know, I say that on every review. Like sometimes That's what separates like a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
But this is not a 9 out of 10, but it still has that smash song. So I gotta give it to that. So yeah, 7.5. It's good. I like it. I'll be playing it again. Will it make the year end list? I don't know about that, but it's but it is notable and definitely worthwhile for listening to.
Yeah, I want to give a big thank you to all our people over on YouTube for subscribing to us. If you are not subscribed to us on YouTube, please go ahead and do that. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Album Mode Podcast on YouTube. Of course, find us on the interwebs. Album Mode Pod on Twitter, Album Mode Pod on Instagram, and Album Mode Pod on TikTok. On TikTok. Of course, make sure you subscribe to us on all your podcast platforms. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. Leave us a rating and a review. 5 stars, not a single star less. Thank you for everyone who's given us a rating already. We really appreciate it. And of course, until next time, know yourself, know your worth.
Later days.